Okay, well, hi my friends, it's Bonnie here, and I'm up in my special room, and as I've told you before, my grandkids call this the magic room. So this is my magic room, and you know what? I have a passion for so many things. I have a passion for baking and cooking and housekeeping, and I also have a passion for art, and my brain never stops. I love making journals and memory books and packages for to give away treats in, and of course cards. And I love mixed media. I love using and trying and experimenting with so many things. And lately I've been experimenting with alcohol inks and, you know, doing the backgrounds and embossing. I mean, it's amazing how these backgrounds, you don't have to use, you can even cut up. If you don't like what you have, you can cut it up and use it, a little panel on a card. But what I thought you might like to see, what I've been working on, is trying my hand at a little bit of mixed, of doing some poinsettias freehand. And so we're gonna try, I've never done this before, but we're gonna try and do this. I'm gonna show you my process and we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, well, yippee. So we're going to get started. So I'll put them over to the side. What I'm going to do is I will be wearing gloves because I'm a mess and I don't want alcohol all over my hands. So I'm going to be using that. And I will also be using a mask because my room is pretty closed. So I want a good ventilated area. I'm using photo paper. Yep, just the photo paper that you get from Staples. We get ours from Costco. And you're going to use, there's two sides, the glossy that you will print photos on, and the other side that is flat. I'm using that. I have a number of alcohol inks, different brands, Pinata. I have some of the Tim Holtz Adirondack, a mix of inks. I'm also using 99% alcohol. It's got less water, and so I'm using that. I put my alcohol in this little container that has a fine tip, so I can just use a little bits of alcohol at a time. Also, I don't have an airbrush, so what I did purchase, which I love, is this Tim Holtz squeeze air pump. And you know what? It does the trick for me, so that's what I'm using. So let's get started. We're gonna try, and I'm putting my mask on. I guess we're all used to wearing masks these days, whether we like it or not. So you got to remember that alcohol inks flow differently. They flow at random. So we're going to try the poinsettia, and I've got some reds out and greens. And as you know, if you look in the store, poinsettias come in all colors now, not just red. So if you don't like the way your poinsettia looks, just call it a modern art poinsettia. All right, and I need to get paper towels. So let's see where this takes us. You can see how I just get sort of excited just to do. So I'm gonna just put, I'm going to start with one petal at a time. I'm just going to put a bit of alcohol, and I'm going to start with a pink. I'm going to just put a fine drop there. You don't need much. And with the air, here we go. We know that the poinsettia has jaggedy moving that around. Now we're going to build on this, so let's just do, I have a turntable that I got from the Value Village, cheap. And now we're going to do another with pink. I am not a professional, I just have fun. I just have fun. Okay, so there's, you can spread that ink. And we're kind of gonna make this look like a poinsettia. Okay, another petal, just with a, and if it runs off to the side, you know, just like all of us card makers, we can cut it down. Okay, I'm just going to spread that. Sorry, my glasses are fogging up. So this can be, I will call it a mystery poinsettia. And let's just do one more leaf. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to try and add a little bit darker. This is called watermelon. And I'm going to just dab. We're just going to build. And like poinsettias, they just have jaggedy leaves, petals, don't they? And then we're going to put that. Where did my watermelon go? Okay. There's, keep spreading it out as best as you can. We got a lot of snow here on the yesterday. It looks so nice. I love it. If that doesn't put you in the Christmas spirit, I don't know what would. I can't imagine living in a country where there's no snow at Christmas. And just spread that around. There. Let's do one more petal of the darker. I decided to try going from light to dark. Now, I've never tried this. This is new. This color's called chili pepper. Let's try that. A little bit darker. You can keep adding alcohol if you want your ink to spread a little bit further. You know what? In art, believe it or not, there's no mistakes. I'm gonna do one more there. Let's spread that there. Now, poinsettias need some green. So I got two colors of green. And if you add just touches of So I'm wondering if you've tried anything new these days. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I have these ideas in my head that pop up sometimes in the middle of the night. That's not good. And sometimes when I get up in the morning, I remember it. Say I like that. It's gone a little bit purpley. I also like that. Okay, let's do another bit of green. Now, I'm going to try this too. This is some turquoise. And let's try that there, see what happens. Like that. Okay. You know, it's just tried and have fun creating. This is not a good craft for kids because of the alcohol. I don't think that'd be very safe. But I know that my grandkids would love this, especially one special guy who loves art. Okay, let's do one more of that green. And then squeeze. See, isn't that great? Thank you, Tim Holtz. I guess I'd like to try an air gun, but I can't afford that right now. I gotta watch my spending. Sometimes I think this room that I have, that if I bring anything else in, the floor's gonna collapse. Okay, we're gonna stop there. Oops. We're gonna stop there for a moment, and I'm going to use, I love those colors, don't you love it? So I'm gonna take my gloves off. I'm gonna use a hair blower just to dry this a little bit quickly, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've dried this, and so we're going to try and turn this into a poinsettia. Now I'm using some pens to do some fine detail, and if you guys have any idea what pen would work best, I would love to hear from you. I like these Micron pens. I have a permanent marker, Sharpie, and I have a Spectrum art pen. Now the only thing is you got to be careful is because these smudge. So that's where I have to be careful. There's a Sharpie. I guess the Sharpie is the one that doesn't smudge as much. It's a permanent. So you know what you need, for me anyway, it's good to have something to go by with. You have a picture. I had the stamp of poinsettia that shows me a little bit of, you know, how petals of the poinsettia should go. And I'm going to just play. I'm just going to play and try to look and see if I can see petals. And I'm going to just use my pen to outline now. I should have probably let this dry a little bit more. Okay, but making sure my camera's on. Okay, so I'm going to work here. And there's the leaves of the poinsettia. And I'm not going to be exact right now. Okay? I'm going to just not happy with this pen. So I need your advice. You know what as crafters, I don't know. I love getting ideas from other people. What would we do without each other to spur each other on, right? So I'm gonna just kind of, now what I've done before, I do like this micron pen a little bit better, and I'm gonna try and not drag my hand to smudge it. And as you can see, I've done that with the pen with this, the same thing. Just work away. You know, some people read books, play games on their devices to take their mind to another planet. And this is what I do. And what I'm going to do is just kind of, with my pen, just darken some of those areas. Last year, I had the best poinsettia of all time. It lasted even through the holidays. I put it outside, and it continued to grow. And then I went and forgot to bring it in. So much for the poinsettia. But they're beautiful, eh? My husband, we got married in December, and the church was filled with poinsettias. My mom made my dress. It was in white velvet, and my sisters, they had red velvet dresses, and yes, my mom made them. My mom was so talented. Sometimes I think my mom did a lot of things. Sewing, though, was her passion. I learned a lot from my mom. She made muffs for the girls to carry. And it was a Christmas wedding. So all these movies that we're watching on TV, yep, that was me. True love. So how many years later? 46 years. You know what? We were married on Pearl Harbor Day. And I'm telling you, we didn't even know each other. We knew each other a year. It was a blind date set up by my sister and her husband. I thank them because I've got the best pick of the lot, I'm telling you. A wonderful husband. Good man. Okay, so I'm going in. Now what I'm going to do, I'm trying not to smudge, and at the end of all of this, when it's done, I have this Krylon crystal clear lacquer, and that will seal it so that none of it will smudge. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, if you notice the poinsettias, the stamens in the middle, I'm going to just and you know what? This is obviously a fun poinsettia, and it doesn't have to be exact. We're having fun. I'm going to darken some of these areas just to give it some, to anchor it a little bit. Some areas here that might need just a little bit of, it gives the art that you're doing a little bit of depth. I have a local art store that I buy some things at, but if I can, I like to be able to, you know, if I can get something and use it that's a little bit cheaper, I try to do that, but in other things you can't, it's not good to cheap out. So if somebody can tell me a good quality pen that I could use, what you suggest, it seems to work. Okay, so I'm just gonna, just to give it some depth to my poinsettia. So, that's my son in the background. Okay, let's do a little bit more. This is, looks like it needs a little bit of, a little bit more anchor here. We're going to fix all this up. A little bit more here. This, there's so much that we can do to keep our minds off of the things that bother us, right? You have to find your happy place. This is my happy place. Let's give this poinsettia leaf. Okay, now I also have, invested in a few of these Posca pens. And I'm just going to go into where those stamens are. I'm just going to make them white. Gosh, if you see modern art where they throw cans of paint at a canvas and people spend big bucks. So maybe. Now what you can do with this pen too is just give it some glitter or dots. I took a trip one year to Guatemala, and these poinsettias were growing wild. How great to see that. Right, and then I can go back in with black, or what I also have is I have this calligraphy ink, and what is Christmas without a bit of gold, right? So I'm just going to pour a little teeny bit into there. I'm going to use the end of my brush, and I'm just going to use gold.
Mom, I'm just going to get an oil change. Mom?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Excuse me. I have great kids too. Oh, I have 3 sons. They all have their cares of the world. It's so good to have them around, huh? Okay. I think I might, let's see if I can, is that gonna work? No. Now, you know what else I have, which might look good, and we'll see if that works. I have some stickles. This is silver. Let's see if this, and let's see if we can get some of this to go in the middle of all that, those dots. Are you watching all the Christmas movies? I got something to tell you. I think my husband likes them better than me. Isn't that crazy? And he's a romantic sort. He's a big guy. He scares a lot of people because of his size. But I'm telling you, he can't wait for that last kiss. There, that's pretty. Now, how about we just put a little bit more of these stickles here and there? Because it's Christmas, and we can. And you know what, anywhere where that ink, you're not happy where it went, just, you know what, you could do that. Just let your imagination and your inspiration go wild. Okay. Let's see, a little bit more here. All right. I'm going to let that dry. See, some of these edges were kind of crooked. And I will just, you know what, just cover them up. Now, if you're somebody that just can't stand messy, this is not for you. This is true created juices coming alive, which I love. Do you think it looks like a poinsettia? Well, I do. So I'm gonna let that dry really good. Those stickles will take a little bit longer to dry. And I'm gonna take this card, or this poinsettia, and I've already sprayed it with that lacquer that I told you about, the clear, and I'm going to turn this into a card. So I shall return. Okay, so here I am. As promised, I finished these 2 cards and I'm loving them. So you can see that I added some gems and a tag that just said Noel, and I embossed with some silver embossing powder and did that one. And then I did this little one. Just, you can cut around anything that you're not happy with. Another thought, if you're not happy with some of your pieces, remember you can always add them inside cards. I might do that. That's what you could do, that, and just put a little tag there with some ribbon. I'm quite happy with that. So, you know what? Alcohol inks, give them a try, and just don't sweat it. Just enjoy it and enjoy that time. So thank you for being with me. If you have any questions, just ask me, and of course any of the comments that I've asked, you know, if you know the markers that you've used that you like on the alcohol inks. So there you go. Have a great day.